For baseball at Nationals Park, Steven Strasburg returns from the disabled list. He'll face a loaded Colorado lineup and last night's hero, Carlos Gonzalez. Welcome to Nationals Park. Beautiful night, a little warm, and the ball should be flying. Young and not so young, getting some Nats baseball tonight. And it's a good thing there's a game every day, because now we can throw away Friday night and worry about Saturday night here at the ballpark. Bob and FP, welcome to our game on Masson. And Steven Strasburg, it's almost like he's had a couple of different seasons. Started out hurt, came back, got really good, then got hurt again.
Well, I mean, he's had some tough luck this year, and he's had a struggle for the first time in his career this year. But when you talk about Steven Strasburg going on DL the first time in Cincinnati on May 29th, you know, he had all kinds of different things going wrong, from stepping in that hole in spring training, just messed up his mechanics. So he goes on the DL, which turns out to be a good thing, because he righted his mechanics. He worked on his landing point. He worked on staying through the target. And when he came off the DL, he was absolutely spectacular. 2-0 with a 1.51 ERA. He had 18 strikeout and 4 walks. Opponents hits 161 against him. So everything that's happened with Steven Strasburg this year can be forgotten with about 8 great starts, propelling his ball club into October, and then having some October starts to remember. The way he pitched last time out, if he continues that in between the trips to the DL, continues that here, he's going to be spectacular tonight against the Rockies.
Yeah, Steven was a little stumped by that left oblique. He told me, I've never had anything on that side of my body go wrong. So here he is back, looking for big things from him, and we did see flashes of the old Strasburg before he went out. Now the Nats have a bit of a makeshift lineup tonight. They switched things around a little bit. Anthony Rendon's going to be leading off, and Jason Worth on the bench.
Anthony Rendon playing second base tonight. Danny Espinosa in there for the second night in a row. Anthony Rendon playing third base tonight. Danny at second base. They're moving everywhere, and it's hard to keep up. The bottom line is you got to beat the Rockies. You got your 2 big guys going back to back. Got to find a way to win tonight.
And Ryan Zimmerman is starting to swing the bat really well. Since coming back from the DL, 9 for 36. 6 of those extra base hits, 2 homers and 6 RBIs. He's had a run batted in all 5 games lately. So Ryan's back playing first base, slugging, sending Harper home, looking for some offense against the Rockies tonight. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. So some of the upper levels fans heading that way. They'll get a good view of Steven Strasburg against the Rockies tonight. What a beautiful evening. We got some breezes blowing in from the scoreboard at top right center. 82 degrees right now. 50% humidity. Rockies in the league, second in homers, first in runs, first in batting average. And Carlos Gonzalez this season against the East doing big-time damage in his career at Nationals Park. Not hitting for great average, .230, but 3 homers, 8 RBIs, and he got half of those ribbies with one swing last night. And the Nats welcome back Strasburg.
The fastball velocity was up between DL stints to 96.6 miles an hour on average, and he starts this one off with a 95 right out of bed.
Right on time at 7:05.
Missed 28 games, July 5th to August 8th. And it's good to see him back.
And some good crackle on that fastball. Charlie Blackmon 1 for 3 career against Strasburg. Hitting .290 with a .356 on base percentage for the Rockies in that leadoff spot. 17-year veteran Brian O'Nora has the plate. Alan Porter, Mark Ripperger on the bases, and there's Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, in his 26th year. Blackmon rips one to the gap. That'll break up an 0 for 10 for him. And to the scoreboard, it's picked up by Michael A. Taylor. Rockies an extra base hit to start their night.
Looked like it was a changeup at 90 miles an hour, and Blackmon caught it out front. Leadoff double for the Rockies. So a bunch of fastballs up to a changeup right down the heart, and Blackmon didn't miss it.
That's his 121st hit, top 7 in the league. Here's Jose Reyes on a 4-game hitting streak. Guy who can handle the bat. He was going to bunt there and went right back to the screen.
Well, he's bunting that to third, and Anthony Rendon was right in his face. That would have been interesting. He's trying to get Rendon to feel it, but he was so close.
And the 0-1. Bunting again. Right to the third baseman. Well, a guy like Reyes, it's almost automatic. He can put the bunt wherever he wants. 5-3 for the first out of the game.
The fact that you're shocked that someone could do that, Carp, speaks volumes about the short game at the major league level right now. Robinson, Taylor, Harper the outfield, Desmond Rendon left side, Espinosa, Zimmerman right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Tony Two Bags playing a little third tonight.
Yeah, he's at the 3-bag. Carlos Gonzalez. I'm having a hard time remembering a ball hit by an opponent in this ballpark any harder than what we saw into the bullpen last night. That's a little tapper right in front of the plate. So after hitting a laser about 400 feet, he hits a chopper about 10 feet, and that's the second out of the inning. Give Strasburg some credit for a tough to contact pitch, obviously.
What's a big out? I mean, when you talk about the Rockies pitcher, Eddie Butler, and the start he had last time out, he would love to take them out with a 1-0 lead. So a big out here in the top of the first for Strasburg with a runner on third and 1 out. Now he has to go after Nolan Arenado.
Arenado 389 with runners in scoring position, 4th best in the league. 350 career hitter in this ballpark. He was in the 3-hole last night, went 3 for 4. 2 singles, a double. Strasburg with 97. Way inside, and He had to get his feet out of the way of that.
Well, if you're going to go in, move somebody's feet. Not a bad pitch. Make it work for you. How do you make it work for you? Well, you go right back in there with a strike, or you go the other side of the plate with your curve.
Feeling good about that heater. It's up to 98.
Well, we talked about the difference in the mechanical adjustment Strasburg made while he was on the DL for the first time, and that was just staying on line, making that stride be consistent right to Wilson Ramos, and throwing the ball through the target and getting that late hop. And he was throwing hard here in the first. Little in.
Coming out beautifully on the fastball from Strasburg's hand. Number one RBI guy in the league here, and he gets overmatched on a breaking ball after seeing some serious heat. Steven pitches around the leadoff double, turns into a great first inning for him. Now the Nats against Eddie Butler. Nats are 12th in the league at 248, but in the top 5 in runs, top 4 in home runs. Anthony Rendon bumped up to the leadoff spot tonight with Escobar, who's all beaten up, getting a night off. So he's hit safely 8 of his 12 games since coming back with 11 hits. 111 at bats all year for Anthony. You see Clint Robinson in there tonight, and Jason Worth getting an evening off as well. Here's Eddie Butler, 24-year-old. He started 3 games last year. This year, his 15th.
He lost 8-7 his last start on the 3rd against Seattle. Gave up 7 runs on 7 hits in just 4 innings of work. Struck out 2, walked 1. Gave up 3 home runs through 67 pitches. So fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball averaging 93 miles an hour.
87 hits given up in 69 innings. 37 walks, 38 strikeouts. But as we often talk about, some lab work first time around here, trying to get a good look at him and see what he has.
The one thing you don't want him to do is settle into this ball game. If you're a pitcher and you don't have that much big league experience and you're coming off an outing where you gave up 7 runs in 4 innings, don't let him think that he figured it out between starts.
And he is a Virginia guy, born in Chesapeake, went to Radford, still the all-time leader in school history in that Big South Conference where he pitched with 22 wins. First time a Radford pitcher had been named COL League Pitcher of the Year. Rendon gets a big piece of that one out to center, but it dies about 395 away for Charlie Blackmon. Big contact to start the night.
Well, I thought this was gone. This one fooled me. Bell-tie fastball right down the middle. Good extension by Anthony Rendon. Had the sound. And as soon as I saw Charlie Blackmon going back, I thought he was just doing the token jog right here. And then all of a sudden, ball just kind of holds up, hits the brakes, 1 out. Huh. A little cooler here tonight.
82.
Feel a breeze up here.
Yeah, there is a bit of a breeze coming in from the scoreboard. Flags out by where Johnny and Ray work, not doing anything. Espinosa dragging it with him, and Butler just missed it. Danny didn't get the ball near enough the line to be a hit. And that was just a clean miss by Eddie Butler.
And trying to bunt this to second base just off the end, so the speed of the bunt was a little bit softer than Danny Espinosa wanted it. The direction fine, but the speed of it let Butler get over and get a glove toward it. But is that a routine play? I'm not sure. I got that as a hit. Coming off the mound on the run, fielding that baseball. I don't see anything on the scoreboard yet.
Bryce Harper is next.
And I gave it Aaron. That's 2 batters and 2 for me. So let's see what happens here.
Maybe this one will give us an aha.
I'm just going with sound effects tonight. Forget trying to pronounce words. We already know I can't do that.
A lot of folks still coming in. We'll have a big crowd by the time everybody is here. Every section in the ballpark is occupied to a certain extent. And the 0-1 to Bryce. Low and inside, on base 3 more times last night. 1 for 3 with an RBI grounder, a base hit, 2 walks. He scored twice. Now look at his walk total of 81. I'm wondering how in the world are Joey Votto and Paul Goldschmidt walking more than Bryce Harper? Votto 86, Goldschmidt 84. About a week and a half since Bryce left the yard. Next homer, number 30. Next RBI, number 70. He'll slap one left field way. It's slicing. That ball about a third of the way up the seats to the left of the 336 mark.
So the defense for the Rockies tonight: Barnes, Blackmon, Gonzalez the outfield, Reyes, Arenado left side, LeMahieu, Paulson right side, Nick Hundley behind the plate. Somebody telling me on Twitter there's over 500 local alumni from Radford here tonight.
We heard the Colorado pass list was very busy in the clubhouse.
Yeah. And well, if they went to Radford, I know one thing. It's a Saturday night and they're having a good time.
One and two. Harper hits it hard. Right side. LeMahieu. And over there, that was the third baseman, Arenado. So that will be a 4-5-3 on a ball that was really scorched.
tomorrow is a food drive. It's presented by Harris Teeter. Nats take on the Rockies. Bring your non-perishable food items to the center field gate through the second inning. And fans who donate at least 3 items will receive 2 tickets to a future Nats home game. That's a good deal while supplies last. Bring some food to the ballpark. For more details, go to nationals.com/community. It's a food drive.
Steven Strasburg, 12 pitches, 9 strikes. First inning, Ben Paulson leads things off. As good a fastball in terms of velocity as we've seen all year. Early yet, Paulson 1 for 2 with a walk against Steven. He's a 300 hitter with a 7-game hitting streak.
Pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
I think Ramos catches that. It might be a strike. 18-mile-an-hour curveball from Strasburg, and it was right there. Didn't get the call.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track. There's another one, so go right back in there. Why not?
A good command with the curveball. Fastball is jumping. Doesn't look like he's favoring anything. So far, so good.
Swing and a foul tip on 96. 2 straight strikeouts and 4 in a row since the Blackman double.
This 96 had a little run to it. Watch the late sink. Everything in the strike zone. So a 4-pitch strikeout for Steven Strasburg. You see that late run and maybe a foul tip involved. A little redirect there. Nice job of hanging on Wilson Ramos.
Here's DJ LeMahieu. That's got him 0 for 4 last night. Still the 4th leading hit guy in the National League. Well, you talk about madness at the ballpark. Mets 3 in the first at Tampa Bay against Nathan Carnes. Rays 4 in the first against Noah Syndergaard. And the Rays give up another run in the second, so they are 4-4 in the 3rd inning. Granderson for the Mets has hit 2 homers, and Grady Sizemore's hit another for the Rays. 1-1 pitch. Great location inside edge.
Yeah, just sitting at 96, and he's thrown a 97 and a 98 already in this one. And more importantly, putting it wherever he wants.
Then a nasty hook to go with it, and DJ will not bother to take a trip down first base way. 3 Ks in a row, 2 outs.
This is one of those Steven Strasburg starts where the Rockies are going back to the dugouts, talking to each other, saying, how does this guy ever give up a hit? I mean,
yeah.
With this stuff, the curveball is sharp, the fastball is jumping, and the location of all of them have been great.
It's Nick Hundley, the catcher, hitting .303.
Yeah, where he's starting with the glove around the belt buckle adjustment he made, kind of to relax everything. Usually started right around the chest. That's something new.
Fastball. This one a mile high. Third base side. Rendon drifting with it. And Steven Strasburg with a 10-pitch inning. 22 pitches in 2 innings. Dominating early tonight.
Nationals Park. The Nats actually got a little bit of bad news recently regarding Denard Span. So he tried to work back from those back spasms, which have him on the DL for the last few weeks. Span had been making progress last week, doing a lot of baseball activity here at Nationals Park. But in one of his workouts, his back tightened up again, and the Nats just don't feel that he's able to progress at the type of pace that they would like him to. The good news here is that Span is not totally shut down. He was out on the field earlier today doing sprints under the watchful eye of trainer Lee Kuntz. And so the Nats are going to take things, kind of play it by ear at this point. They hope that he can go down to Vieira on Monday or Tuesday to maybe pick things back up. But it's a little disappointing that Span's progress was kind of put on hold by those back spasms maybe reappearing or tightness. He'll have a good day, then he'll have a bad day. So very frustrating for Denard Span. He had been a little optimistic that things had been working in the right direction. A little bit of a setback for Denard as he tries to get back to action.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Hate to hear that. Ryan Zimmerman goes up swinging. First pitch, bottom of the second, and a fly ball for Charlie Blackmon.
Well, that's why he went on the DL in the first place, because he would have a good day, a bad day, a couple of good days, a couple of bad days. It just got to the point where you couldn't play with 24 guys on occasion because of the inconsistency of the injury. And if that's happening again, that's obviously no bueno.
Clint Robinson, the left fielder, and batting fifth tonight. .277 his last 48 games. Lasered a home run out of here the other night. 2-0. Eddie Butler with a strike. He threw 9 pitches, 6 strikes first inning thanks to that double play ball. Bryce Harper hit the ball 97 miles an hour off his bat right at the second baseman. Robinson scorches one. That one eats up Reyes, and Clint Robinson will beat it out. Ball deflected over to DJ LeMahieu. Got to be a hit. The Nats first of the night.
Well, right now, Eddie Butler not fooling anybody. Anthony Rendon with a deep fly ball to start this one up. Bryce Harper with a bullet for a 4-5-3 double play. And now Clint Robinson, the first knock of the night. There goes the no-hitter. And if Reyes deflected that to DJ LeMahieu, and they threw out Robinson, everybody would be scratching their head in the first base dugout. Some bullets here early for the Nats hitters.
Yep. Here's Ian Desmond. One for 3, RBI double, a walk, a stolen base last night. And Desmond now hitting safely, 13 of his last 17 games. With 18 hits, 5 of them home runs.
Pretty good numbers against the Rockies.
Then after a pretty long hold, Butler misses 3-0. He was a first rounder. In between pick, sandwich pick, 46th overall 3 years ago by Colorado. Out of Radford. 6'2", 180. Had a birthday. He turned 24 June 13th. Desmond hacking on 3-0. That's a walk. Desmond's 25th of the year. 2 on, 1 out with Wilson Ramos coming up.
Well, before the pitch, Nick Hundley put his glove behind Ian Desmond. And the reason he put his glove behind Ian Desmond is just in case hitters are kind of looking peripherally for the catcher setting up and you see something flash on the inside. Hundley did that, so Desmond might be thinking they were coming in. You saw the pitch was away. He was trying to deke Desmond into a pull swing and an outside fastball. Happened right before the pitch.
Here's Wilson Ramos. Up in the zone, 88 to the outside edge.
Watch Hundley with his glove. See him just kind of putting that over there. In case you see something move out of the corner of your eye, you think, oh, the catcher's setting up in. I'm going to turn and burn right here, wrap around the foul pole, and the pitch was away.
Ramos and that chopper hit him in the foot. Foul anyway. Glenn Robinson's hit speed, I'm going to go 98.
I'm going to say 90. You're killing
Man,
me.
he scorched it.
Bryce Harper's ground ball was 97.
Yeah. Ramos got a hanger. Hit it pretty well out to right field. That's over the head of Gonzalez, who tried to deke the runners with his glove. Two Nats will score, and it's 2-0 Washington. Wilson Ramos is up to 49 RBIs.
Well, credit Ian Desmond on first base, not falling for the deke. Carlos Gonzalez throws his glove in the air, and the reason he's doing that is to deke the runners into thinking that he's got a beat on this ball. Watch Gonzalez on top of the screen. He can throw his glove up like, I got it. But Ian Desmond wasn't biting. He knew that ball was hit. He could tell by the sound. It's a ballpark he's played a million games in. It's a nice read by Desmond. Great swing by the Buffalo. 2-0 Nats.
Wilson Ramos now 6 for his last 17.
He just throws his glove up like, I got it. Larry Walker was the best there ever was at doing that.
Number 8 man, Michael A. Taylor, 1 out here. And he'll take that one up and away. So Ian Desmond gets that 1-out walk after the Robinson scorcher. Ramos, 7 RBIs, last 5 games. And now one of the best runners in scoring position guys in the league. Taylor at 391.
Getting some good rips in. I mean, Danny Espinosa bunted, so the 2 balls that had full swings in the first inning struck. And Ryan hit that ball okay to center field, and then Robinson with a bolt, Ramos with a bullet.
One and 2 to Taylor. Got a good look at the 88 breaking ball away. Steven Strasburg on deck. He's been given a 2-run lead. Oh, they're going to ring up Taylor. Boy. You look at some pitches on the outside edge over the last week or so against the Nats. A lot of strikes out there.
Well, was it a strike is the question. Michael Taylor didn't think so, and neither did Pitch Strack, and the only one that matters was Brian O'Nor, and he called it.
That'll bring up Strasburg. Steven this year 0 for 16. 136 career hitter with 13 batted in.
He's due. But he's going to have to hit a gapper to score the Buffalo on second. Rockies outfield cheating up, and they all can throw.
Yeah, a guy in center field has 9 assists.
swung out of his helmet right there, didn't he?
Big hack.
He must have Bryce's helmet on, even though the ear flaps right-handed.
Strasburg, a little bit of a smile, airing it out. And a little chopper. That's going to be a base hit unless Arenado has another miracle. Even he couldn't get it there in time. And the Nats have runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Gio, you checked in, Steven. First knock of the year for Steven Strasburg, and it was a beauty. Hey, keeping the line moving. Now you got to get Anthony Rendon out, so putting the ball in play with 2 strikes, nicely done. And Nolan Arenado made it close at first base, but good hustle by Strasburg. Smelling a knock. Picking them up, putting them down. Anthony Rendon has a chance to do some damage.
So for the Nationals, first time through the order, 3 for 8 with a base on balls. And all of those base runners have happened within the last 5 hitters. So top of the order for Rendon, who hit one really well to deep center first time, caught. So after a visit from pitching coach Steve Foster, Eddie Butler back to work. Breaking ball hanging around, up and in, got a strike with it. Counts even 1-1.
We'll go with it again right here, it looks like.
Hit well. Out to short. Reyes to LeMahieu on the 6-4. Nice inning for the Nats, though. Robinson and Desmond get aboard. Wilson Ramos drives both of them in. The Nats by 2 after 2. Kind of summer event. Gio Gonzalez, August 8th, 2012, first big league home run. And Gio wasn't done. He would go the distance, give up 9 hits, 3 runs. And for Gio Gonzalez, his second career complete game. Thank you, Edwin Jackson, for the proverbial icing on the cake. Nats win 4-3 in Houston 3 years ago today, and Gio started his 3-year homer streak with that mammoth shot into the Crawford boxes in Minute Maid Park. Steven Strasburg back to work. 22 pitches, 16 strikes. Brandon Barnes, Eddie Butler, Charlie Blackmon. Funny. We go to Houston, and then here come the Killer Bees. Not quite like Biggio, Bagwell,
I was just going to say.
Bell, Berkman.
You dropping Killer Bees? 8-9-1.
See what they do.
I mean, they're good players.
Yeah. They're not the Killer Bees. Brandon Barnes hitting .270. Rockies have a crazy stat going their way this year. No matter who's batting in the 1 through 8 spots in their lineup, and that one's for Bryce Harper. Everybody's hitting at least .270. That has not been done since the Rockies 15 years ago. And before then, it hadn't been done in 37 years. So Jeep takes us inside the numbers. Steven Strasburg, 500 pitcher. First 3.5 months or so. You bring 1st of August in the heat, so does he. Look at that. 15 out of 19 decisions, 2.5 ERA.
That's right. All the talk about Steven Strasburg this year, the start he got off to, the disabled lists, coming out of baseball games, being left in game. He's 8 or 9 starts away from everybody forgetting about it. When you talk about a pennant race in September and hopefully pitching in October baseball, nobody will remember anything that happened in April, May, and June with Steven Strasburg if he locks in from here on out.
Eddie Butler is 1 for 20 this year as a big league hitter, 1 for 26.
Dropped a Killer Bee on a 1 for 26. 1 for 26, Killer Bee. Come on.
Okay, I cracked one joke all year.
Tighten it up.
I crack one joke all year, and Henny Youngman sitting next to me is all over me. Take my analyst, please.
Oh, please, with the Henny Youngman reference. There's about 4 people that got that. Now it's time for Toyota Case for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers will help children and families by making a $37 donation to Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
You better watch it. I'm going to drop the polite TV laugh on you. Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. Just heard about 20 of them from the production crew. Keep them laughing. We're all in good shape. Blackmon, first time up. He really hit one hard out to the gap in right center. #121st base hit of the year. Guy's been quite a find the last couple of years. This is a laser down the right field line. It'll one hop at the 335 mark. And Charlie Blackmon is the extent of their offense. A pair of doubles in between. They went 0 for 8. Actually 0 for 7 with a sacrifice.
Well, it's a process of elimination as a hitter. First time up, Charlie Blackmon hits a changeup in the gap for a double. This time he's sitting on fastball, right? He said he's not going to throw me that changeup again. I'm going to switch to fastball. And he gets one down in. Great swing. Just dropping the barrel on the baseball. Hits the top of the fence. And a 2-out double for the Rockies.
That'll bring in Jose Reyes, who on the first out of the first inning sacrificed Blackmon to third. Steven went to work, got Gonzalez on the little chopper, struck out Arenado. Swing and a foul off to the left, and the Mets are not waiting around. They're trying to attack Steven Strasburg early after seeing what he's featuring first time through the order. Great fastball to the outside edge.
Well, it's been power and command tonight so far from Strasburg. Sitting at 96, occasional 97. He's touched 98, but watch the command right here. Like a finesse pitcher at 97, darting a spot. That was nice.
Reyes' career against Steven, 5 for 14. And he got him looking with 96 right over the plate, down in the zone. So other than Charlie Blackmon, Stevens been perfect, and the Nats lead by 2. Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman. Espinosa reached first time up on the bunt and the error by Eddie Butler. Danny's been on base 6 of his last 8 games. Actually 7 of his last 8. Hitting safely in 6 of those. And the breaking ball dropped in. "34 pitches, 21 strikes. That was a 25-pitch second inning for Eddie Butler. Fastball. Espinosa a little late for it.
I don't know where he hits or where he plays, but the Nats are a better team when he's in the lineup. They have more energy. He makes plays wherever you put him, whether it's third, short, second, first, outfield. And he's having a great year.
Oh-2 pitch.
Lurking tomorrow.
Lurking now, stalking tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
That's a breaking ball that stays up high. Espinosa had a good rip and straight back it went. So Bryce Harper next here in the third. 2-3-4 with Ryan Zimmerman to follow. Let's track the entire at bat here with Mercedes-Benz. Good rip. Up and in, not easy to get to.
I might get him a curveball or a changeup. Let's see if they go back to that fastball in once again. That'd be 3 in a row in the same location. And Espinosa looks like he's getting closer with every one. Curveball.
That one bounces in. Count is full, 3-2.
So an 0-2 to a 3-2. Danny Espinosa fighting.
Now Danny has cut down his strikeouts this year. He's walked 27 times. And he's having a good at bat, spoiling some borderline pitches.
Yeah, we always sit up here and say he's battling, he's fighting, he's having a good at bat. Meanwhile, as a hitter, you're thinking, how did I miss that pitch? Why isn't that ball in the gap? I was sitting on it, I got it, and I fouled it back. What's going on?
And now it's an even better at bat as he gets down to first base. That was a breaking ball that almost got him in the back foot. Second walk by Eddie Butler.
Join us for a pet calendar on Thursday, August 27th. Nats take on the San Diego Padres 3-game series. Jason Worth's huge dog Magnus might be here, but he'll definitely be in the calendar. You can see photos of your favorite Nats players with their pets. Supplies are limited. For details and special ticket information, visit nationals.com/pet day. That at-bat by Danny Espinosa is his season in a nutshell. 0-2 last year was a 3-pitch see ya. He goes 0-2 to 3-2, foul balls all over the place, and draws a walk. The difference between 2 years.
Yeah, Danny Espinosa, 306 official plate appearances this year. So add 28 more for the bases on balls. Good speed. You can put some pressure on a defense here. And the Rockies like to shift, as most clubs do, against Bryce Harper. But there's only so much you can do with a speed guy on first.
They may have to shift into the bleachers on this one. He hit that first ball hard.
Espinosa back in. He got Butler's A move right there. Danny 4 for 6 running. '93, it was up and away. Nationals have had 5 base runners in the last 8 hitters. That's outside.
I see what he's trying to do to Bryce Harper. He hit a ball hard, pull side first time up. He's sinking him this time. 93, 94. That one had tons of run on it.
You pick the count, and the numbers are pretty good. The Rays have scored a run in the 4th. They lead the Mets 5-4.
1-3 count.
2-0 Nats here. Harper gashes another one. This gets by DJ LeMahieu. And Bryce Harper continues his torrid hitting. He's now hit safely in 16 of his last 17 games.
Well, you saw what Eddie Butler was trying to do, sink Bryce Harper and get a ground ball double play. 94 running all over the place. Bryce at a 1-1 count. Finally gets something close to him. So the first 2 fastballs away, this one in. Bryce Harper ready for action. Checking in with his first knock of the night, beaten a little shade by the Rockies here. And he's upset that he didn't stay through that longer and send that one in the bullpen. See that practice swing he's taking? He's telling himself, stay through it. Just pulled off it a little bit. That's how much of a perfectionist he is.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman. First pitch hunting last time. Fly ball center field. Zimmerman, a two-hopper to short. Reyes, LeMahieu, and the Rockies turn a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. That's their second of the game already. They've turned 111 this year, third most in the league.
It's time for your T-Mobile fan photo using hashtag NatsCouchCam. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. Tweet us your strongest fan photo.
Well, here's Clint Robinson to hit one hard off the glove of Jose Reyes for the Nationals' first hit. 1 out, second inning.
I mean, just watching Butler early on in this game, that was a changeup right there at 87. His fastball, when it's in the lower 90s, has way more movement than when it's in the mid 90s. And it's kind of like he's in between. Am I a strikeout guy? Am I a power pitcher? Do I want to pitch to contact with ground balls? And you talk to hitters, that one that moves is a lot tougher than the one that's straight and maybe a little bit harder.
Good take. That was 90 over but low, and Clint Robinson gets it to 3-0. Pitch count mounting for the young right-hander. He's at 51 now. 2 outs, third inning. Taking all the way, and why not? A 4-pitch walk. 2 in the inning, 3 in the game. And the man he walked first time, Ian Desmond, stepping in.
Oh, if you see Ian Desmond walk one at bat, you know he's hacking early the next at bat. And I think they know it too. See if they give him a fastball right here, first pitch. Nowhere near.
Right now, he's not giving the Nats a reason to swing.
Buffalo on deck. Double first time up, couple RBI.
Couple of shakes. 2-0. Desmond hits it right over the mound. It scoots on through. Home to score is Espinosa. And Ian Desmond is on base for the second time. That's RBI number 37.
Yeah, got to a 2-0 count. Chopper up the middle. I'll tell you what, maybe we could show a side swing of Ian Desmond because it's hard to see at home the adjustments he's made straight on from the center field camera. He's really widened out his stance, and by widening out his stance, he's keeping his head still and making really good decisions at the plate. And when your feet are closer, you stride toward the pitcher, your head has a tendency to go with your feet. And the reason you spread out as a hitter is try to keep your head quiet and see the ball better. And he's really wide now, as wide as I've ever seen him with the base in his stance. And it's translated into better at-bats. He's walking, he's getting into hitters' counts, and he's making consistent contact. Just a chopper up the middle in the hard part of the dirt right in front of the plate. But he got to a 2-0 count, a big 2-out knock to make it 3-0. And you can kind of see the wide base. That's at the end of it. But when he starts, his base is really wide.
2 hits in the inning, 2 walks, another run. Wilson Ramos, 2-run double, first time up. He pulls it hard. Backhand Arenado, who makes some of the tough plays look so easy. It's just crazy. Another nice inning for the Nats offense. 3-0 now into the middle innings.
3-0 Nationals. And the story tonight, the return of Steven Strasburg. On 35 pitches, he's got 5 strikeouts, no walks. Command has been great. Ball's been jumping out of his hand, 95 to 98 miles an hour. Curveball's been untouchable. And like you said, Carp, going to break, if it wasn't for Charlie Blackmon making that team bust today, he'd have a perfect game going.
Carlos Gonzalez, top of the 4th. So through 3, Strasburg throws 35 pitches, 25 strikes. Got Gonzalez on that little tapper in front of the plate first time up. That was huge with a runner at 3rd and 1 out. First inning.
Of his first 35 pitches, though, 26 four-seam fastballs, 2 two-seam fastballs. So 28 fastballs out of 35.
Isn't that what got him to the big leagues?
Total confidence in the heater. And there were times last year and early this year where if somebody hit it hard, he would start throwing his off speed. That hasn't been the case. Even on his return from the disabled list the first time, he threw way more fastballs. He had confidence in the fastball with the velocity and the location. And if somebody hit it hard, he kept throwing it.
Your best against theirs.
Exactly.
84 on that one.
But I mean, even all of us, if we had a wiffle ball curve like that, we'd want to throw it too, right? I mean, you can understand the wipeout changeup and the curveball and wanting to throw those as well. But I just think, Carp, a fastball that's 95 to 98, it's more of a presence.
Yeah.
More of a statement of who you are on the mound. If a guy that throws 98, whoever it is, starts flipping curveballs and changeup up there as a hitter, I'm like, okay, I have a chance because you don't have confidence in your fastball.
There's a confident 96. Strikeout number 6.
And if you start throwing heat by hitters, now I'm thinking you're a bad dude. I mean, this is hard. You're intimidating. There's not an intimidation factor with a changeup and a curveball all night long. But if you're throwing 98 by me, well, now there's a little intimidation factor. There's mound presence. And when you get a base hit, Gio Gonzalez is going to clap it. I mean, it's just more of a presence when you throw 98 by guys.
Nolan Arenado struck out swinging first time up. He hits one to left. Back near the bullpen, and you know what? It didn't look like he got all of it off the bat, but he is so strong. It's his 27th home run.
But that's going to happen when you're a power pitcher. That's part of it. And the way you limit the damage when you throw 97, 98, and a guy touches one out of there on you is not walk anybody in front of him. So a challenge fastball, this one a little bit up, and look at Arenado pull his hands in and get the barrel to the mid-90s fastball and ride it out of here for home run number 27.
He's going to double his career home run total this year. He came in with 28. That was his 27th of this season alone. Swing and a miss by Ben Paulson.
But what does he do? So what? 95, first pitch, right back to the eater.
That's the Rockies' 124th home run. Dodgers coming into today had hit 134 to lead the league. Nats have given up 88. You guys, some kind of player. Both sides of the ball. In the dirt, swing and a miss. Ramos calmly picks it up and throws out Ben Paulson. Strikeout number 7, Paulson twice. So Steven has 3 strikeouts in each of the last 3 innings. And the Nats have an interesting streak going. The pitching staff now 10 games in a row with at least 6 strikeouts. The Tigers had 12 3 years ago. Just a week later than this time of the year. We know who was part of that.
I'm surprised in today's game that list isn't a lot longer.
That's a nasty hook to DJ LeMahieu. Then he shows him the 97 away. Change up.
My favorite part about this inning is not the 2 strikeouts, not the home run. It's the pitch after the home run that Steven Strasburg threw a first pitch fastball to Ben Paulson right by him at 95 after he just gave up a home run on the fastball. And he's throwing it again here to LeMahieu.
Wow. Strikes out the side. An Arenado home run after 1 out. And Steven has fanned 8 through 4.
Bernard Span had suffered a little setback. What do you like to see Michael Taylor do over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks of the regular season to really get going at a consistent pace? And he said, I don't really look at it that way. He said, I think Taylor's doing just fine as it is. He's got good power numbers on the year. He's using his speed. He's hitting nearly 400 with runners in scoring position. My advice to him would be keep doing what you're doing. You're helping us win games. Keep going along. Don't try and do anything different.
All right, thanks, Dan. That was a breaking ball, hanging a bit. Michael A. Taylor banging it down to Arenado. You know what the result of that's going to be. So a first out here with Steven Strasburg coming up 4th inning.
I mean, playing in for the bunt. He gets a bullet, soft hands, stands up. And the play he made on Wilson Ramos to end the 3rd. I mean, you don't want to hit against him because he's going to take hits away from you. But as a broadcaster, I could watch him play every day. I mean, that's just like a shortstop playing 3rd base, how smooth he is.
When you're a Garden Gnome in your 2nd big league season, you know you're something special. Shared that with Worth last year. A lot of Gold Gloves in his future. Didn't get one last year because he was banged up, but man, he's going to have at least a handful more. Strasburg 3-0. Base hit first time. Noah Syndergaard's out of the game in Tampa. Sean Gilmartin pitching for the Mets. Rays lead 5-4. Fifth inning. (3-2) to Strasburg. Slaps one for a base hit. Pulling it past Arenado. And without a hit all year, Steven goes 2 for 2 tonight.
A good swing right here. Arenado just in enough for the bunt. He slams his glove on the ground because he's the kind of third baseman that thinks he should make every play. Steven Strasburg barreling up another one for his second hit of the night. Have you ever seen anybody look so different without a beard than Steven Strasburg? I mean, it's like a different dude. I think he looks good.
Rendon to Arenado. This will be the Rockies' third double play of the night. Harper to end the first. First 2 outs off the bat of the Zimmerman third inning, and now Rendon in the fourth.
Goodness.
Was that Martha tripping up all 5? And then George. I tell you, Martha would look a little better clean shaven too.
Yeah, Martha needs to clean it up. That's just a serious
an invisible fishing line or something? Yeah, what was that?
Just a presidential pileup. And Martha? I met that guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name in the tunnel the other day. He came up to me full beard and said, "Hi, I'm Martha Washington." I said, "Oh, you need to shave." Oh, sorry.
Espinosa, Harper, and Zimmerman in the bottom of the inning for the Rockies. Their bottom 3. Hundley, Barnes, and Butler. Steven Strasburg, 52 pitches, 38 strikes.
I'll tell you what, if you missed the piece on Mass and Dan running the race in the pregame show today, you should go to masson.com to check it out. They did a great job, and Dan did a great job last night. Go to massonsports.com and check it out. It's really cool. I mean, it shows him behind the scenes. He ran the race. He was telling me today how hard it was with that big old head to stay balanced, and he just wanted to finish upright, didn't want to fall. I thought it was great. Really cool piece. Check it out.
Well done, Dan. We've never been more proud of the 6th place finisher. That's nasty. 83 in the dirt. Ramos has tagged a couple of guys. A couple of others have just walked away after pitches like that. And Steven Strasburg's last 5 outs, actually his last 6 are strikeouts.
Man, he's got no-hit stuff tonight. He really does. You know, he's given up the home run and a couple of doubles, but with the changeup, curveball, and fastball, as good as they are with the command of the fastball, this is when good luck. I mean, you might run into one, but there's a better chance you might not.
Brandon Barnes, fly ball to right first time. He was swinging early in the count, leading off the 3rd. Throwing that thing wherever he wants and changing eye levels with it as well. The dugout, very impressed. And that ball pretty well hit. Guided to right. Bryce Harper to the track right in the corner. Thing had some carry on it. 2 outs.
Well, that's a good one, too. Catch the Nats Tuesday, August 25th, 7:05 start. They open up a 3-game series against the Pods.
Was that Worth in the corner of the screen now?
It might have been. First 25,000. I'm reading, so I didn't see it. First 25,000 fans will receive an Anthony Rendon Garden Gnome. Check it out on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Follow his adventures at nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. The Rendon Gnome. The Rendon.
I don't think I'm seeing things. Jason Worth. Garden Gnome popped up in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. It's one of those things you think you saw, but you're not sure. Be on the lookout tomorrow, we're told.
Okay. You read it then tomorrow.
I will.
So I can look.
We do see things from up here that normal people cannot see.
Like UFOs?
Yeah. Coast Guard chopper pilot said, "Hey, what's up, guys?" when he flew by the other day.
Different solar systems, new planets.
Breaking ball. I told Harry Callis one night that when the Phillies are home, we can see the lights of their ballpark. He said, "Really?" Two balls, 2 strikes. Eddie Butler, strikeout victim number 4, first time.
You know what's better, too, is his tempo.
Yeah, good point.
He's getting it going. Not waiting around, and that tells me there's confidence. Not really thinking about things. Just you have total confidence in your mechanics, what you've worked on, your health. Nothing's an issue. Ball's jumping out. Put down the sign. Let's do this. When guys start to work slow, they're thinking about a lot of different things.
Three and 2 on the pitcher. Strasburg has 2 hits tonight, by the way, with the bat for the 4th time in his career. Pretty good at bat. Ian Desmond spears it, and the top of the 5th inning is over. I've been told to watch the bottom of the screen as we go to break. So here comes Desmond. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there he is.
There it is.
I'm not crazy.
Well, you are, but there's a gnome there.
Dave Frank Howard, 79 years young today. The Capital Punisher, 382 career home runs, 1,119 RBIs. And did you know that he was an All-American in basketball and baseball at The Ohio State University? He was drafted by the Philadelphia Warriors of the NBA. One big guy to another. Ramos.
Well, the Capital Punisher to the Buffalo. Wilson Ramos punishes this one to right center field. Carlos Gonzalez tried to deke everybody, but a great read by Ian Desmond, who was right on the heels of Clint Robinson. Made this a 2-0 ball game in the bottom of the second. Multiple RBI.
Wow. 11 of 13 when the Nats get that from him. Danny Espinosa has bunted, gotten on base on a pitcher's error, then walked and scored on the Desmond base hit 2 innings ago. Bryce Harper has hit the ball, and I mean hard, twice. He's a tough luck 1 for 2. Espinosa pulls it hard behind Tony Tarasco. Another Virginian, Eddie Butler, on Frank Howard's birthday, and that's going to be right at Nolan Arenado. First out, 5th inning.
DC Lexus dealers are donating $250 to Children's National Health System for every home run a Nats player hits this season. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
4-5-3 double play on a ball that he killed, and a base hit on a ball he hit even harder into right field. Second time up. Butler tries the changeup, 88 outside. Then he goes with the hook outside.
They're starting to get a reputation for knowing the strike zone so well at this point in the season that every borderline call is going his way. And for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless there's history there between he and an umpire, he's usually getting the benefit of the doubt. And he's earned it. When you show the league and the umpires that you know the strike zone, that little split second that they have to decide on a borderline pitch, they think, it's Bryce Harper, he knows the strike zone ball. That's how fast it goes in your head. And that's how you get a reputation.
There's one right there.
Right there.
To some guys, that's 3-1.
And it doesn't hurt that they look up at the scoreboard and see 335, 29, 69 right in their face, too. So you get respect as a hitter based on your numbers, based on your knowledge of the strike zone.
To give you a perspective on what Bryce is doing this year, his batting average this year is 60 points above his career average, and his on-base percentage is about 110 points above what he's done. He was .351 career on base coming in. Right now he's heading back up toward .470, which is ridiculous. Ryan Zimmerman over 2, fly ball to center, double play ball, and a strike on the inside edge by Eddie Butler. Tell you, he had 64 pitches through 4 innings with 3 double plays. Getting some ground balls has saved him 20 or more pitches in this game. Brian O'Neill thought about it for an instant, called it strike 2, and Mercedes-Benz will track it.
But he went, this isn't Bryce Harper, strike. See the difference? But you'd think Ryan Zimmerman would get some respect.
A lot of room right side. Can't be too picky on 0-2, though. Have had base runners in every inning. Ryan Zimmerman probably hitting the heaviest .215 or so in baseball with 40 RBIs. So productive with his hits this year. Target in. They didn't get it in there. This ball heading to the bullpen, and it's off the wall. Scooting to third on a good read is Bryce Harper, and they miss cutoff man. Harper scores. The throw from Barnes is bounced and bounced, and Bryce bounced his way home.
The run till they tag you offense. Where's it been? There it is. For the first time this year, Bryce Harper just wheels around third base. And I don't know if he read it. He was just going to score. He got a great read on the ball. First of all, he said, you know what? This is hit over his head. I'm not going to wait around and see. So he just puts his head down and takes off like there's 2 outs. Barnes plays it pretty well off the wall, but he just fires it into nobody. And I don't know, we'll look at it again if Bob Henley sent him or he just looked over his shoulder, but he was not stopping even if Bob Henley wanted him to. But I think Bob Henley waved him the whole way based on Henley seeing the throw go wide. And Bryce Harper pointing back to Zimmerman. Great base running, great base coaching, playing the game hard. Hello.
4-1 Nats. By the way, Ryan Zimmerman, 10 for 39 on his return, 7 extra base hits. So he hasn't come off the DL bumping the ball to right field. He's driving it.
That was exciting. That last little peek that Bryce did over his shoulder might have been the difference on that.
Clint Robinson jammed, and a ball short center field. Charlie Blackmon, 2 outs.
So the ball roasted, obviously. Ryan Zimmerman doing a nice job of just tattooing this baseball. And watch Bryce come around second. That's where the read happens. And I don't know where Barnes was throwing this. I don't know if Jose Reyes should have been lining up to third. Maybe that's where that thing got weird. You know, that's a sure double. Shortstop lines up to third base, not just standing there like Reyes was. And there was no cutoff man, and Bryce Harper and Bob Henley took advantage of it.
First to home in 11 seconds by Bryce Harper. Desmond over to third for Arenado. That's it for the Nats in the fifth, but they're doing a good job of adding on. A walk, a double, and after 5, it's 4-1. On to the top of the 6th inning, top of the order. So the Rockies box score. It's the Blackmon pair of doubles, Arenado 1 home run show. That's about it. Steven first 2 times through the order. First pitch strikes to 13 of 18 hitters. Five in a row, 3 on strikes since the Arenado home run. Peter has been there all night. Threw the hook for a strike there, and it was fouled, pulled by Charlie Blackmon. #1 app for live baseball, MLB.com at that. Up to the moment, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio, StatCast, and a whole lot more. Get it for your smartphone or tablet, MLB.com at bat. Follow the Nats wherever you are. 1-2 pitch. How about that changeup?
Yeah, 90 with faith. So the power changeup from Steven Strasburg added to the curveball and the fastball in the upper 90s tonight, making life nearly impossible for Rockies hitters.
I mean, that looked like a left-hander's breaking ball. 17th time, 10 strikeouts or more. First pitch, Jose Reyes out to Bryce Harper.
I'll tell you what, I ain't waiting around if I'm a Rocky tonight. I'm hacking. Because if you're getting the 2 strikes, you're in deep trouble.
By the way, Jose Reyes, of course, part of the Tulowitzki deal. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees again today. They've won 7 straight. And Toronto breathing down the necks of the Yanks, 2.5 out in the AL East. They're getting separation from the rest of the division. Toronto has 60 wins. There's Carlos Gonzalez.
Canada going nuts about baseball again.
That's great.
Especially Toronto.
Well, that's their national team now.
David Price saying the other day that he's never pitched in an atmosphere like that in his career, and he's pitched in all those postseason games. Place is rocking, it's jumping, they're excited about baseball. And they can hit.
High fly ball, center field. Under it, Michael A. Taylor and Steven Strasburg. 8 in a row since the homer, and that was another 10-pitch inning. Bottom of the 6th inning. Can the Nats add on some more? Busy box. 2 in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd, a run in the 5th. Ramos 2 RBIs. Desmond made it the 3rd one in the 3rd, and then the most recent Ryan Zimmerman RBIs in 6 straight games with that double. Ramos, Taylor, and then the 2 for 2 Steven Strasburg. Second time up, Ramos made the mistake of pulling it to Nolan Arenado, who has won 2 Gold Gloves. And a sign of the respect that he has around the league. He was hurt last year, played 111 games, and still won the Gold Glove. Ramos handcuffed by that pitch on his hands, and Barnes has it.
National season plan holders, you can renew right now your plans for the 2016 season. Season plan holders who renew by August 31st can also secure a 2015 postseason ticket or more. Visit Nationals.com/renew for all your renewal and postseason ticket details. Today they had all the season plan holders on the field. Guys walking around signing autographs, shaking hands, kissing babies. And I saw one of Bob Henley's autographs, and he actually put Bob Senley. He did. And the fan asked him to do it.
Yeah.
But I had a good chuckle when I got down there. And she said, look, he put Bob Senley instead of Bob Henley. He's a rock star.
Highlight for me was seeing some of our wounded warriors over by the third base dugout. We had a great group from Walter Reed down here today as part of all that. So if some of you Nats fans came to that, but for whatever reason you're home tonight, it was great seeing you. Thanks for your support. And so many people that we met have had season tickets every year of this team's existence.
Make a play. Nice.
A lot of pitches, and then when you consider the 3 double plays, been kind of a crazy night for Eddie Butler, the Chesapeake, Virginia native. Breaking ball, and Taylor to third. Arenado knows he's got to hurry, and he's got the gun to get a guy like Taylor. 2 outs. What an exhibition of defense.
Well, now he's just showing off. He just sat back on that one so he could show the hose. He does kind of put a show on over there, doesn't he? In a good way. Unless you're a hitter. Then it sinks.
Strasburg, 3rd career 2-hit game. First was May 20th of 12 against the Orioles here when he hit his first big league homer. Had one against the Phillies. May of 13, May 26th. August 22nd at Wrigley Field. Last year went 2 for 4. Actually 2 years ago. So it's been a while. Oh, he's going to have a 3-hit game. Strasburg jammed and he puts it into left field.
Standing ovation for Steven Strasburg. A sitting ovation from Gio Gonzalez, but his 3rd hit of the night to go with a dominant pitching performance. Steven Strasburg doing it all here on Saturday night against the Rockies. First career 3-hit game. Congratulations.
Well, he passes Gio and Joe Ross with that hit among the starters.
Barrel's overrated right off the label. Golf clap. Craig Stammen sighting. Good to see him. Or as Davey Johnson used to call him, Craig Stammen.
Stammen. As long as he called him in for the bullpen. Hey, Craig, come on in. Craig told me today he's been able to get outdoors and do some things. Can't throw yet, but he's just able to move around more than he was before, and it's really refreshing him. And he'll start a throwing program during the winter. Man, he's hoping to be real strong by the end of spring training. The Nats have really missed Craig Stammen this year.
Absolutely.
Fastball is up. Anthony Rendon 0 for 3. 11 hits in 12 games previous to tonight since coming back. Got a pitch up and he was all over it. So Eddie Butler, Christian Friedrich in the Rockies bullpen, an 8-man pen. Right now the Nats are featuring an 8-man pen with the addition of Doug Fister. Roster move made today with Steven Strasburg reactivated. Dan Uggla DL. because of his back. Swing and a miss on a big breaking ball.
Tell you what, Eddie Butler's doing a nice job for the Rockies here tonight, keeping them in this game.
He has the double plays helped. He's through 6.
Punch out. He's got 10 of them, and it's been on all 3 pitches. Fastball, curveball. Been a few changeups in there for strike 3. But really, I mean, tonight has been about the express, the confidence in the express, and just staying with it, even though he gave up a home run. The location, the command, the strike 1 with the fastball tonight, everything you can imagine about Steven Strasburg going his way. 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, and counting as we go to the top of the 7th.
Yeah, we were told around 100 pitches tonight, somewhere between 90 and 100. And he's got a chance to get 7 with that pitch count. And if he has a quick 7th, we'll see. 77 pitches right now. He's gone 7 twice this year, both against the Phillies. Once here April 19th, once at Philly June 28th. Looked like Arenado able to check his swing. Count 1-1.
And curveball for a strike, curveball for a ball, whatever he wants to do, he's doing it. It's like a video game. He's got a joystick out there.
Nissan on the pitch track. Throws that changeup inside to the right-handed batter.
So we went fastball belt high to the pull side for a home run last time. And Strasburg trying to change up curveball combo this time. Tearing out of.
In the air, right field way. Long run for Bryce. Foul ground. He's there. And he's got it. And then slides safely into the barrier.
What a play by Bryce Harper. And from our vantage point up here, you're saying, don't run into the wall, don't run into the wall. But Bryce Harper, you see the little peak in his home ballpark. He knows exactly where he is. He knows that he has room, and he also knows that he has to go into a slide to decelerate. But the little peak right about there, did you see his head move? That showed him exactly where he was, that he had to go around that corner. And then he still had some room where it opens up into a slide, put on the brakes. Great play. Steven Strasburg definitely appreciates that effort by Bryce Harper. Bryce is playing right out of his uni tonight. This is the hardest I've seen him play all year, and he's played hard pretty much every game.
And I had a thought as I watched him go after that. Playing hard, but under control.
Yep.
Outside, 1-1. Ben Paulson. Bryce has a handful of assists this year because people have stopped running on him. Some of the best outfielders in baseball don't get assists as the season goes along.
And he's going to have a strawberry on his knee, I'll tell you that. Big one. Best cure for that, it sounds horrible. You just put that white athletic tape. You rinse it out, you clean it out, you put some Neosporin on it, and you put the athletic tape right on it.
Look at that hook in the dirt. Strasburg, another strikeout. Number 11 for the second out, 7th inning.
And you leave the tape on for about 2, 3, 4 days, and you peel it off, and there's nothing there. It's crazy. Time for your T-Mobile fan photo. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Nats CouchCap when you slide in golf next time, Carp. Keep that in mind. All right. That is a fan, all right. He's got his hoodie on, his Nats sleeping bag. Michael Chavarria. That is a couch cam. I like that one. And that's your medical tip for the day, brought to you by me.
Next time I throw myself on the ground after a drive in the woods, I'll try that. Look at this breaking ball. So he struck out Paulson 3 times. LeMahieu stepping in. He's 0 for 2 Ks. Strasburg, most strikeouts this year. That game I mentioned at Philadelphia, he had 9 in a 3-2 win June 28th. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Brian O'Nora is going to hear himself calling strikes in his sleep tonight. Crowd getting into this. Throwing the changeup at 90. And the pitch count reaches 90.
I'm telling you, this guy locks in the last however many starts he has this year. Nobody remembers the rest of the season. Nobody. Nobody remembers the first part of the year and the struggles he had. Because of injury and mechanics and all the stuff he had going on, nobody's going to remember it.
Big hook, strikeout, and another Rocky decides not to run. 12 Ks, ladies and gentlemen, at the 7th inning stretch. Nats offense has done its part tonight with 2 early runs. It's a 4-1 game after 6.5. You too, buddy, and we arrive at the Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Busy on the concourses, not real busy between home and first against Strasburg for the Rockies. their offense. Couple of doubles, a homer, 11, now 12 strikeouts for Steven Strasburg. So important down the stretch to get this guy, first of all, back in the rotation, and then to pitch like this. It really makes a big difference in the rotation, even with the other great arms we have.
I mean, this is very exciting, and not just because of the 12 strikeouts tonight, but what he did prior to going on the DL with the oblique. He's continued and even went up a notch here tonight. And yeah, it's the Colorado Rockies, and they're 15 games below 500, but they're a very good offensive ball club, and there's some really good hitters down there that he's really broken down with some amazing stuff here tonight.
Dominant performance. He's in the low 90s on the pitch count. Drew Storn, by the way, not available for any 8th inning work tonight. He threw 23 pitches last night. And Christian Friedrich will come into the ball game from the left side of the Rockies pen. League hitting .308 against the left-hander. So Eddie Butler went 6, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 3 of them scored, and 2 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, 59 strikes, made an error through 3 double play balls. So Danny Espinosa around to the right side. 1 for 3 career against this lefty.
Good take. Just missed. Borderline pitch. I mean, he's been seeing it big tonight.
And by the way, nobody is throwing in the bullpen in right field. Fastball up. Unless Matt LeCroy has the 8th inning, and we love you, Matt, but he is alone. Isn't that great? Strasburg at 91 pitches, 65 strikes. Espinosa airing it out on 2-0.
It's been the Steven Strasburg show all night long. At the plate, on the mound, doing it all.
Drops the breaking ball in there. 27-year-old lefty from Evanston, Illinois. Another first-rounder, 25th player overall taken 7 years ago. His 3rd year with the Rockies. He's done some starting at the big league level. 19 hasn't gone that great for him with about a 6 ERA. Espinosa hits one hard to left, just foul.
Ball's crushed. And just foul too, and you knew it was going to be close because Espinosa was running down the line. And just a little tip for you fans: if you're ever at a ball game, just watch the hitter. He'll tell you if it's fair or foul. Everybody tries to look down the corner to see. If the hitter stand in the box, he's the one that'll tell you. If he's running, it's fair. We're going to be close. If it's way foul, he'll be standing right in the box.
Getting some good hacks here.
Just another quality at bat, however it ends.
4-1 Nats, bottom of the 7th. Espinosa, Harper, Zimmerman. Close, and what a good at bat. Danny Espinosa, 2 great at bats with a leadoff walk 3rd inning, another one here in the 7th.
In playing all the positions he plays, if you're Matt Williams, you can find a way to get Danny Espinosa in every day. Whether it's, Jason Worth working his way back. Get your outfield glove. You're playing left field today. Ryan Zimmerman, your foot's barking today. Get your first base glove. You're playing first today. Escobar needs a day off. You move Rendon to third. Now Espinosa plays second today. Ian Desmond, you need a day off. Danny, you're playing shortstop. That's a super utility player, an everyday utility player that can get 400 or 500 at-bats. You start having good at-bats, you're playing like Espinosa's playing, Matt Williams is going to find a way to get his energy and his attitude, I think, more importantly, in the lineup every day.
17 pitches and 2 at-bats. Bryce Harper, a career 0 for 5 against Friedrich with 3 strikeouts. But this year, a whole nother level for Bryce against left-handed pitching. Helmet comes off on a big hack. 324 against lefties for Bryce this year.
Well, it was good luck for Steven Strasburg earlier. He took a hack and his helmet came off and got a base hit. See if it works for Bryce Harper for his second knock of the night. Swung right out of his helmet. And I'll tell you what, look at his uni. He's playing right out of his uniform tonight.
Harper gets a breaking ball. Heading for the fence. And right off the sign. He'll have to pull up with a single. But on the read, Danny Espinosa all the way to third base.
He's so good. I mean, seriously, you can see him break down his swing and get all technical baseball stuff. He's so good. It covers everything. And you're just wondering, is this one going to stay in the air long enough to get out of here? Looked like he sat on a curveball, got the curveball, wasn't fooled. Look at the timing. I mean, he hits that from the side swing like a fastball, and that was a curveball. Definitely sat on it. Had the sound, and you're wondering, is that going to get out of here? Negative. Another good at-bat, and he's so good.
Ryan Zimmerman next. Like we said, this is a different year for Bryce against certain left-handed batters. Ryan is 1 for 2 career with a double and a walk with an RBI against the Rockies left-handers. So the first 2 men aboard as the Nats try to put a serious 7th-inning stamp on this game. And Strasburg in line to come out and pitch another inning. Most folks would like a line drive right in front of that pole coming their way. How about that? 12 out of 14. That's how you drive in the runs, Ryan is. 41 on the year in 250 at bats. On the edge, counts even 1-1. Mets are batting at the top of the 9th, trailing at Tampa Bay 5-4. Nats lead here 4-1. Got the call on one side, but not the other. Hot shot up the middle. It's another RBI for Zimmerman. Harper to third. The line's moving, and it's 5-1 Washington. Told you earlier, RBIs in 6 straight games. He holds the team record with 9 in a row. back in 2012, and Ryan Zimmerman is on an RBI tear.
It's almost like he needs base runners out there to get fired up to drive in a run. I mean, that's when you see the concentration level rise. He's been a clutch hitter his whole career. He obviously knows how to drive in runs, and Bryce Harper was getting it going into third. And you were thinking, he was thinking, same thing as last time, he was going to score.
Here's Clint Robinson, lefty-lefty. Harper way down the line. And Bryce will score on a double play ball. 4-6-3, and the Nats go up 6-1. At this stage of a game, you'll take that for that add-on run. For double play by the Rockies tonight.
Very business-like high fives right down the Nats dugout. Like, yeah, this is how we're supposed to do it. I like it.
Ian Desmond airing it out on a big breaking ball. 2 for 4 career against Friedrich. And tonight, 1 for 3. With a base on balls, the run scored. That ball bounces out in front.
Yeah, see how wide his stance is now? Kind of spread out a little bit more. A little bit more open. It's not crazy noticeable, but just enough to have a better base underneath him. Yeah, there you go. That's a good look at it.
Two. Very relaxed on the take. When Ian Desmond and Danny Espinosa combined for 3 walks, shouldn't you win? 2 guys who love to get after it and showing great discipline tonight. And Desmond will add another base hit onto his Saturday night resume. 2 for 3 on base for the 3rd time. Wilson Ramos next.
So the 11th hit of the night for the Nationals, a single by Ian Desmond. You see the base and the head staying still. Not attacking the baseball with his body, attacking the baseball with his hands because his head's staying still. Great swing.
So the Rockies about to make some changes, and a call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store. Double switch, DJ LeMahieu leaves. UPS store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics, and that's Justin Miller. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Bottom of the 7th inning. Nats making a lot of noise. Ian Desmond has added on to the lead. Daniel Descalso on a double switch will bat 9th and play third base. And the right-hander Justin Miller faces Wilson Ramos for the first time.
A 2 pitches fastball slider.
94 ran inside. Second-year guy, a teammate of Max Scherzer's in Detroit last year, where he made 8 relief appearances. Breaking ball stays up. Well, for the first time tonight, somebody warming up in the Nats bullpen. Could that be due to the long time Strasburg has spent sitting around in this half inning? Or maybe a little insurance once the 8th starts.
Well, the fact that he's just coming off the DL, and that's good. Leave a great taste in his mouth. 12 strikeouts, 3 hits. You're good.
Our crew keeps track of everything. It's been 18 minutes since his most recent pitch.
He didn't have his jacket on.
Two-1. 86, slider outside. Rays have beaten the Mets 5-4. The Nats could gain a game tonight and be 1.5 back. That breaks a New York 7-game winning streak. Ramos up and in. And Ian Desmond is there in plenty of time for another steal in this series and his 8th of the year.
A good jump by Ian Desmond. I like the aggressive move. Not even close at second base. Step it on the gas pedal. Love it.
Ramos 1 for 3, the big 2-run double over the head of Cargo back in the second. Wilson Ramos takes a walk. The Nats have been given 6 free passes tonight. Michael A. Taylor. And Tyler Moore's coming out on deck. Michael 0 for 3 tonight. One of the few quiet nights he's had lately. Yeah, Tyler Moore could be a decoy on deck to get them to throw Michael A. Taylor some hittable pitches to get out of the inning. We'll see. Kind of a no-lose situation either way.
Well, it has to be a decoy with the guy up in the bullpen, because you can't just throw a guy in the on-deck circle. It's all a manager has to do is look down the bullpen and say, well, they're not going to pinch hit. But since you got Blake Trinan up, but I don't think Matt Williams would get Blake Trinan hot if he's not bringing him in. We'll see. I mean, he's still throwing. This isn't just token flipping down there for a decoy. I think he's in the game. But never know. See how I covered myself there in like 18 different directions?
Wait till next year when it's an election year. He'll really be covering.
He could, he couldn't. He might not.
Both runners move up. Desmond to third, Ramos to second. Pretty long reach for Nick Hundley there.
Okay.
They finally lost after 7 in a row.
And they're going to lose again this season. I'm pretty sure of it.
Ground to be gained. Then a chance if the Nats take care of business tonight for a winning homestand tomorrow behind Max Scherzer. Two balls, 2 strikes.
There was people on the MLB network yesterday or the other day celebrating openly that they predicted the Nats wouldn't go to the playoffs in spring training, that they were right.
What was the date yesterday?
And I thought to myself, how can you be right on August 6th on your prediction of the Nats not getting the playoffs when there's 2 months of baseball left and you're celebrating like you predicted it right? I told you in spring training that, wait a minute.
They have champagne.
Do that in October if you're right. That's fine. Not in the first week of August throwing a party because you made a prediction that they wouldn't make the playoffs. Unbelievable.
On a ball that was up and in, popped up. Nick Hundley. And the 7th inning is over. Nats pick up another 2 runs. Harper right in the middle of everything tonight. Looks like Trinan's coming. Well, it's on to that all-important 8th inning here, even though the Nats are up by 5. And Blake Trinan will get the call tonight. Strasburg will be done after 7 great innings, a run on 3 hits. Didn't walk anybody, 12 strikeouts. Trinan threw the ball beautifully at Syracuse, and he's back.
Steven Strasburg threw 91 pitches tonight, Carb. 55 of those were fastballs. 13 changeups and 23 curveballs. Pounding
Love that number.
Yeah, just pounding the zone with the heater all night and then using the other pitches to complement it. Great outing. One of the best we've seen in a while.
Catcher Nick Hundley off to the right side. Only one Rocky has ever faced Trinan, Jose Reyes. Hundley tonight 0 for 2. How good has Strasburg been? It's the top of the 8th inning, and the bottom 3 slots in the Rockies order are only batting for the 3rd time. He faced 3 batters over the minimum on tonight. Denny Espinosa can wait on that one a bit. 1 out. For the Achiever in you, PNC Bank. With our minor league report, Lucas Giolito tonight. 96 pitches. He almost went 7. All that matters are the runs, right? Walked a few, struck out a few. He is still on his way. Here's Brandon Barnes trying it ahead of him. Fans were looking up to see if the slider would make its way over the screen. That's how much action that thing had on it when it hit the ground and glanced off Ramos mid. How about that sinker? It's dirty. 98. Come on.
It's just filthy. Well, watch the movement. Forget about the speed. Watch the movement. Okay, now you can look at the speed.
Oh, that's nasty. Drops a 90 slider on him. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Descalso next.
Yeah, locked him up. Almost acting like a changeup off of the 98. Didn't do a whole lot, but just enough.
Out to short by Descalso. Ian Desmond throws him out, and Blake Trinan picks up where his starter, Strasburg, left off. Brought to you by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Rice finds the baseball, finds the wall. Great play, under control. A real highlight of that first batter, top of the 7th, and here we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Be sure to text Masson's word of the day, flow, to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Anthony Rendon and a $25 Hair Cuttery gift card. That's flow. Brought to you by Hair Cuttery, home of the smile back guarantee. No small print, just big smiles. Should make the word of the day salad tomorrow. And talking about, hair and names for it.
Doug Fister for the 9th. Tyler Moore lead off, bottom 8. Well, they're hitting for Blake Trinan here. So we think Doug's doing more than throwing on the side. I asked Tyler about his pitching appearance the other night. Said he had a chance to throw about, I don't know, 10 pitches, 12 pitches underneath in the cage. He said the thing that struck him when he got out there, how close the hitter looked to him. He said that was a little strange. That 60 feet looks a little shorter when you're out there. 96 right in there.
I'm just looking at this card. The Nats are 16-11, the Red Tops this year. 22-16, and they're all white uniforms. 1-1 in the Stars and Stripes. 17-24 in their gray unis. So Grays need to go, first of all. 7 games under. Sorry, Grays. You can take a hike. Just go with the Red Tops on the road, right? And if they win tonight, that would be 8 games over. I mean, it's getting late.
Anything, looking for any advantage you can, right?
Right. I'm trying to think of ways. Matt Williams going no pullover. He's got his red top on. So scratch the Grays. Wally, if you're listening, no Grays on the road trip. Just red tops. Then here we go. The rest is solved.
Up and in for the strikeout. Bunch of heaters from Justin Miller in his 2nd inning.
Check out the Fits this summer for great baseball, affordable family fun. Pretty good ball club, folks. August highlights include a bunch of neat stuff. For all your ticket promotional information, visit BillNationals.com. You can't add and do promos at the same time. So they're 38-27 if you take the gray unis out of it. And 39-28 if you have the Stars and Stripes. I mean, I'm up here solving big problems.
Mike Wallace on the phone ordering more red jerseys.
Right. Keep the gray ones here for this road trip. Don't need them.
I mean, we're playing teams in blue, orange, and purple. So what's the big deal?
That's right. I think there's certain rules and regulations, by the way, and I'm going to catch it for all of this. I already know. But it's coming from a good place.
Anthony Rendon, 0 for 4 this evening in the leadoff spot, playing third base. Well, as the inning goes on, now it's Doug Thornton. So maybe Doug, the other Doug, was getting some side work. Matt Thornton. Great crowd tonight, by the way. 37,115. They've been treated to a lot of fun in this one. Way outside. So the Nationals now in attendance, getting close to averaging 34,000 a game. Play well, stay in the race. A lot of home games coming up later in this month and then into September. Rendon rips it left side. Arenado. 2 down here in the 8th. Next up will be Danny Espinosa, who's been on base twice. Actually reached once on an error. That does not go on your on base percentage. Lined out to third, and then twice has walked and scored. They'll play a 3-man shift right side of the infield here. Miller bringing it at 95.
Oh, 95 with a little cut to it late. Everybody has somebody that throws 95 to 100. And not just somebody, a bunch of somebodies. The average velocity in Major League Baseball is at an all-time high on the fastball.
Yeah, it's amazing. Six runs on 11 hits by the offense tonight. Also given 6 walks. Fastball away, 95. So a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th for the right-hander Justin Miller. And now it's Matt Thornton to close it out, get the Nats back even in the series. The Colorado Rockies of the Johan Flande. He is 2-1, 10 games, 2 starts. Nats have faced him before, and Max Scherzer, 1-3 career against Colorado, but having a great year with a 2.31 ERA, 11 wins, league hitting 193 against him. So Max has a chance to win a series for the Nats tomorrow and also make it a winning homestand. So Matt Thornton, 70% heaters.
At 94 miles an hour. 39th appearance. ERA at 3.08.
And for Charlie Blackmon, Drew Stubbs will get a pinch hitting appearance here in the top of the 9th inning. Stubbs has a pinch hitter. Wow. The number's amazing. 7 for 13 with a home run, 3 RBIs, hitting .227 overall. Got to play off to the right side. Nats trying to win their 57th game of the year and get back to within 1.5 of the Mets. Michael McHenry coming in, their backup catcher. And Stubbs strikeout prone throughout his career. Matt Thornton gets him. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight, Nats Extra coming up when this one wraps up. Now it's Jose Reyes against Matt Thornton. Jose 1 for 2 against the Nats lefty with an RBI and a base on balls. Fastball up, and from the right side of the plate, Jose was pumping.
Well, there's a lot to talk about and a lot of good things to talk about from tonight's ball game. But you really need go no further than Stephen Strasburg. It was the story before the game, and it's definitely going to be the positive story after the game. It's always a story with him regardless, but tonight might be the talk of Major League Baseball. Allowed 3 hits, had 3 hits, struck out 12. Hit 98 a few times, throwing the curveball for a strike, bouncing the curveball. Power changeup was there when he needed it. I mean, everything. And the Rockies can hit.
That's a good lineup, really good. Reyes out to left. Clint Robinson underneath this one. The defense really has not been very busy tonight. I mean, 12 of the first 21 outs, nobody touched the ball. So 1 out to go for the Nats to get back even in this series. It's just incredible how one day to the next, this game can change your mind and your mindset.
Yeah, it's something I haven't said all night. Give him credit for bouncing back from a tough loss and turning the page, which is not easy to do.
Swing and a miss. Carlos Gonzalez. Oh, wait a minute, it's going to be Cal Parker. So Walt Weiss getting his guys some swings here late in the game. Stubbs for Blackmon, Parker for Gonzalez. Strike 2. That's it. Ramos holds on, and the Nats have taken care of business in big fashion here at home tonight.
A little magic going on here at the ballpark. They scored early, 2 runs in the second, added on a run in the third, a run in the fifth, 2 more in the seventh. Ryan Zimmerman with RBIs in all 6 games of the homestand, and Stephen Strasburg with 12 strikeouts and a wonderful performance. Nice win for the Nats.
They gain a game in the standings tonight, the most important thing of all, and a chance to win a series tomorrow as the guys happily walk off a 6-1 win.